Have you ever wondered why that famous whip looks like it was designed by someone who crossed a bullwhip with a medieval flail and threw in some voodoo magic for good measure? Half frontier survival tool, half performer's stage prop, and half something that probably violated several safety regulations. Well, dust off your adventure hat, because Indiana Jones's Bullwhip wasn't just some art department creation made from fake materials and clever camera angles. It was actually constructed using traditional techniques that turned kangaroo hide into a precision instrument capable of supernatural accuracy. People assume Harrison Ford was just cracking a harmless movie prop. Wrong. Dead wrong. This weapon could disarm gunmen, topple grown men, and perform feats that stunt coordinators called impossible. And trust me, number one will completely rewrite your understanding of cinematic realism. But before we start, if you're fascinated by movie props and filmmaking secrets, hit that subscribe button now. You won't want to miss what's coming next in our deep dives into cinema history. Number 14. They used real kangaroo hide, not cow leather. The bullwhip that helped define Indiana Jones wasn't made from ordinary cowhide like most people assume. Spielberg's production team imported genuine kangaroo hide directly from Australia, creating a prop with extraordinary capabilities. Kangaroo leather offers 10 times the strength of traditional cowhide while weighing just half as much, giving the whip its legendary snap and precision. Each hide underwent months of specialized treatment and aging before construction could even begin. The leather required careful selection, with only premium sections making the cut for the final prop. This meticulous attention to authentic materials didn't come cheap. Each whip cost nearly 20 times more than standard movie props, but the difference was immediately apparent on screen. The kangaroo hide's natural fiber structure allowed for flexibility that synthetic materials simply couldn't replicate, creating that iconic fluid movement we associate with Indy's adventures. Number 13. It was built by actual whip makers, not prop artists. When it came to creating Indiana's signature weapon, Paramount didn't trust typical Hollywood prop departments. Instead, they sought out David Morgan, a California-based whip maker who had spent decades crafting functional whips for working ranchers and professional performers. Morgan wasn't a special effects wizard. He was a genuine craftsman preserving techniques that dated back generations. Each whip required over 40 hours of intensive hand construction. Morgan's workshop used traditional hand tools and braiding techniques that had remained virtually unchanged for centuries. His expertise transformed raw materials into precision instruments capable of the performance demands required for raiders. The production team quickly realized that movie magic wasn't needed when genuine craftsmanship could deliver results that exceeded their expectations. Morgan's involvement established a standard of authenticity that would influence adventure films for decades to come. Number 12. Harrison Ford nearly lost his eye. During practice, Ford's dedication to performing his own stunts nearly cost him dearly during pre-production training. Determined to master the bullwhip himself rather than rely on stunt doubles, Ford engaged in rigorous practice sessions that pushed the boundaries of safety. During one early session, the whip violently cracked back, missing his eye by mere inches and leaving a small cut on his chin that eagle-eyed viewers can still spot in certain scenes. The incident prompted stunt coordinators to advocate for restricting Ford's use of the actual whip, citing serious safety concerns. Their recommendations fell on deaf ears, as Ford insisted on continuing his training. His stubborn persistence paid off. By the time cameras rolled, Ford had developed remarkable proficiency, eventually reaching a skill level where he could accurately target objects even when blindfolded. This blend of star power and authentic skill created action sequences with a genuineness rarely achieved in adventure films. Number 11. The whip could actually disarm gunmen. That famous scene where Indiana disarms a Nazi soldier wasn't accomplished through camera tricks or hidden wires. The bullwhip could genuinely wrap around objects and yank them away with devastating force. Professional whipcrackers demonstrated for the astonished production team that when properly executed, a whip's tip travels faster than 700 miles per hour, creating enough force to grab and remove items from an opponent's grip. The production team discovered this capability created unexpected challenges during filming. Multiple takes were ruined because the whip worked too effectively, sometimes breaking props or sending objects flying beyond the camera frame. Stunt performers facing the business end of Ford's whip reported genuine concern during these sequences, as even carefully choreographed scenes carried an element of unpredictability when the real whip was in action. Number 10. It made different sounds depending on the scene. The iconic crack that accompanies Indiana's whip work wasn't created from a single sound effect. Sound engineers recorded dozens of different whip cracks in various environments, creating a library of authentic sounds that could be matched to specific scenes. Indoor cracks required different acoustics than outdoor desert sequences, with each environment demanding custom audio profiles. The most dramatic moments often featured layered sound design, combining the initial leather snap, the air displacement whoosh, and the final crack into a composite effect. For particularly intense scenes, sound designers even incorporated subtle gunshot elements to enhance the whip's perceived power. This meticulous approach to audio authenticity helped establish the whip as a character in its own right, with a voice that communicated both danger and reassurance, depending on who wielded it. Number 9. They made 7 identical whips for different stunts. The production couldn't risk relying on a single prop for the entire shoot, especially considering the punishments each whip endured during filming. David Morgan handcrafted 7 identical whips to exacting specifications, each designated for specific types of scenes. Clean, pristine whips were reserved exclusively for close-up hero shots, while separate ones were designated for dangerous stunts and general action sequences. Despite having multiple backups, 2 whips were completely destroyed during particularly intensive filming days, requiring emergency replacements to be rushed to set. Each replacement had to match the originals perfectly, as continuity experts scrutinized every frame for consistency. This multiple whip approach allowed for simultaneous filming of different scenes and ensured production wouldn't halt if a primary prop was damaged, though maintaining identical wear patterns across all 7 whips became an ongoing challenge for the prop department. Number 8. The whip was 10 feet long and weighed only 2 pounds. While movie props often appear larger and more imposing on screen than they actually are, Indiana's whip defied this convention. Each whip measured a full 10 feet from handle to tip, significantly longer than typical stage whips. Despite this impressive length, the specialized kangaroo hide construction kept the total weight to just 2 pounds, allowing for the lightning-fast maneuvers that became Indy's trademark. The handle contained precisely measured lead shot, creating a counterbalance that improved accuracy and control. This careful weight distribution allowed Ford to target objects up to 8 feet away with remarkable precision after his training. The unusual combination of length and lightness created a weapon that could both intimidate at a distance and deliver pinpoint strikes, making it uniquely suited for the tight quarters and open expanses Indiana encountered throughout his adventures. Number 7. It could actually support Harrison Ford's weight. Those dramatic swinging sequences weren't accomplished solely with hidden support cables. The Bullwhip's specialized braiding pattern created tensile strength capable of supporting over 300 pounds safely. While safety cables were indeed present during filming as insurance requirements dictated, the whip itself performed the actual work in many shots, creating authentic movement that couldn't be replicated with special effects. Insurance underwriters initially refused to approve these stunts, considering them too dangerous even with safety backups. The production team arranged for stress testing demonstrations that finally convinced the insurers to relent, though with significant premium increases. Ford performed several swinging stunts utilizing the actual whip, creating sequences with a fluid authenticity that contributed to the film's groundbreaking action style and influenced adventure choreography for decades afterward. Number 6. The braiding pattern was a closely guarded secret. David Morgan implemented a specific 12-strand braiding technique that remained proprietary throughout production. This pattern maximized strength while preserving the flexibility essential for dramatic cracking effects. Each strand required precise cutting and measured tension during the braiding process, with the complete sequence taking 3 full days to complete properly. Morgan steadfastly refused to teach the technique to other prop makers, ensuring his workshop maintained exclusive control over authentic replicas. This protective stance wasn't merely about business. The complex braiding required years of experience to execute properly, and improperly constructed whips could be dangerously unpredictable. The technique created a distinctive appearance that became instantly recognizable to fans, with the crisscross pattern visible in close-up shots becoming an iconic visual element of the character. Number 5. It became the most copied movie prop of the 1980s. Following Raider's release, the market was flooded with replica whips as adventure enthusiasts sought to capture a piece of Indiana's mystique. Most of these mass-produced knockoffs used cheap leather that deteriorated quickly with use, creating a stark contrast with the film-used originals. David Morgan's workshop experienced an unprecedented 2,000% increase in orders after the film debuted, forcing the small operation to dramatically expand capacity. The whip's popularity extended beyond personal collections, with theme parks and stunt shows incorporating Bullwhip demonstrations into their attractions. This unexpected phenomenon single-handedly revitalized interest in traditional whip-making as a craft, saving an art form that had been declining for decades. Morgan's business transformed from a specialty operation serving working ranchers to a cultural preservation enterprise, maintaining techniques that might otherwise have disappeared. Number 4. The whip scenes required special insurance policies. Standard film production insurance policies didn't cover what underwriters categorized as weaponized leather goods, forcing Paramount to create custom coverage specifically for whip-related incidents. These specialized policies added approximately $50,000 to the production budget, a significant sum in 1981 dollars, but proved necessary given the genuine risks involved. Every actor and crew member working near whip sequences required mandatory safety briefings, with medical personnel stationed on set during all whipping scenes. These precautions weren't mere formalities. The whip's tip could break the sound barrier when properly cracked, creating potential for serious injury if miscalculated. Despite these challenges, the production maintained an excellent safety record through diligent protocols, with only minor incidents reported throughout the rigorous filming schedule. Number 3. Harrison Ford kept practicing. Between takes, Ford's commitment to mastering the bullwhip extended far beyond required training sessions. Crew members frequently discovered him practicing during lunch breaks, methodically cracking the whip at improvised targets set up behind his trailer. This dedication surprised even veteran stunt coordinators, who had rarely witnessed a lead actor invest such personal effort into prop mastery. The Western cowboys hired as consultants and background performers found themselves impressed by Ford's rapidly developing skill. By production's conclusion, Ford could execute techniques that seasoned professionals considered advanced, adding an extra layer of authenticity to his portrayal. This behind-the-scenes dedication exemplified the actor's approach to creating Indiana Jones, not as a caricature of adventure heroes, but as a believably skilled archaeologist whose unorthodox tools had become genuine extensions of his capabilities. Number 2. The original whips are missing and worth a fortune. In one of film history's enduring mysteries, none of the 7 original Raiders whips have been definitively authenticated in modern times. Despite numerous auction claims and private collections purporting to hold screen-used examples, experts remain skeptical about their provenance. Legitimate appraisers estimate that a confirmed original would command upwards of $100,000 in today's collector market, possibly much more with proper documentation. David Morgan continued receiving inquiries about the original whips for decades after production, with collectors and museums seeking to acquire these iconic pieces of film history. Most screen-used whips that have appeared at auctions have proven to be replicas or whips from the later Indiana Jones films, which were constructed differently. The missing originals have achieved almost mythical status among prop collectors, becoming cinema's equivalent of lost treasure, fitting for objects associated with archaeology's greatest fictional hero. Number 1. It was so dangerous they almost replaced it with CGI. In the most shocking behind-the-scenes revelation, Paramount executives attempted to halt the use of actual whips midway through production. After 3 minor injuries and numerous instances of unintended property damage, studio management pushed to replace the remaining whip scenes with optical effects. This proposed change threatened to fundamentally alter the film's authentic approach to action. Spielberg personally intervened, arguing that the genuine interaction between Ford and the whip created a visceral quality that effects couldn't replicate. This standoff between safety concerns and artistic vision represented a crucial moment in action filmmaking philosophy. Spielberg's successful insistence on maintaining practical effects established Raiders as a landmark in authentic stunt work. Had the studio prevailed, Indiana Jones might have lost the very element that made his adventures feel genuine, potentially altering the entire trajectory of action cinema in the decades that followed. And there you have it. 14 weird, wild, and downright unbelievable facts about one of the most dangerous, authentic, and misunderstood movie props ever created. Indiana Jones's bullwhip wasn't just some costume department afterthought. It was a precision-engineered weapon that nearly got the movie shut down, turned Harrison Ford into a legitimate whip-cracking expert and created action sequences so real they've never been matched. So now I want to hear from you. Which fact shocked you the most? Did you know the whip was actually that dangerous? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive into movie magic, and make sure to subscribe for more insane behind-the-scenes stories that prove Hollywood's biggest secrets are always stranger than fiction.